Hey guys, welcome back to another semantics video. Today's video is going to be very different than anything that we've ever done. I'm not doing a transformation today. I'm not playing a game today. I'm just talking about my life, which is not something that I really do a whole lot of on the internet, on social media. This video is not scripted. I've sat down and I've tried to write a script for it several times and I just can't. But yeah, this video is going to be more just talking about 2018, how the year has been for me, the reason that I started making these videos, and depression. So yeah, I don't have any idea how this video is going to turn out. I don't know. I'm probably just gonna have to edit it a whole lot because as of right now it's just gonna be some sort of like stream of consciousness, but that's fine. It's something that I feel like needs to be said, and I'm making a video. Can you stop screaming, cat? Anyway, hi. For those of you who don't know that much about me, I'm mainly like, this isn't going to be a video I try to publicize a whole ton. Like, I'm not going to go around posting it on Reddits and all of that kind of stuff. This is one mainly for the people that know me in person. But if you don't, hey, that's cool too. Maybe you can glean some sort of information from this and learn from it. Cat, do you want to come sit with me? Hi. Hello. How you doing, buddy? Are you lonely? This is Piper. I don't know if I've ever like officially introduced him. I know there's been several moments where he's like been the star in the background of a transformation video or something. Do you want to just sit down or do you want to go down? You confused as to why you're in a forest? Oh, I should mention the backdrop. I'm trying to increase production value, so I figured I would add a backdrop, but I also don't have any money, so enjoy this birch forest shower curtain that I just so happened to have laying around. I actually have a second one. That's a story for another day as to why I have two of these that are not being used for anything. But anyway. Yeah, so depression sucks. I'm just gonna lead off with that. Depression's been something that I've struggled with my entire life. Yeah. Depression's been something that I've struggled with my entire life. He doesn't like it when I talk about depression, apparently. Yes, baby? He says, "You're not allowed to be depressed. I'm your cat. I'm here." I was officially diagnosed with seasonal affective disorder back in 2017, and I've been on medication for it ever since. And medication helps. It doesn't completely mitigate the effects and the feelings, but it does sort of makes the valleys not as low. So that's nice. Unless you know me super well, you probably don't even know that depression is something that I struggle with. It's not something that I publicize. It's not something that I really talk about outside of my immediate friend circle. Because it's, I don't know, I mean, kind of embarrassing, if I'm being completely honest. But I feel like it's only embarrassing because people don't talk about it enough. And if everybody was honest about their struggles and what they were going through, I feel like we would all realize that we're all dealing with a lot more than we think we are, and that there's nothing to be ashamed of. So yeah, 2018 has been a pretty terrible year. I don't want to say that it's been the worst year that I've had, but it probably would qualify. It would take that cake. So I went to school for musical theater. Performance is something that I love. It's my favorite thing to do. I love being on stage. I love singing. I love acting. I love being in front of people. It's something that's intrinsic to who I am as a person. I really enjoy being on stage and I enjoy entertaining people. I mean, that's why I make these videos, is to entertain. And I cannot express to you how fantastic it has been for the past 3 or so years to be able to completely support myself and pay my bills off of performance. And I had a blast. I made some great friends. I learned a lot about life. I learned a lot about myself. But relocating 8 to 10 hours away, depending on who's driving, and being away from basically everybody that I knew and my entire family was hard. It was very hard. It was something that I have definitely, like, I made it through it. I'm stronger for making it through it. But that was a very hard transition for me, being away from my niece and my nephews, not being able to see them grow up. I mean, they're still quite young, but you know, when I left, my brother has 4 children, and one of them was not even born when I left. So it's mind-boggling. Anyway, I had a great time while I was up there. I met a lot of great people, fell in love, had the longest and best relationships I've ever had. And I was conflicted at the end of last season. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't know if I wanted to stay, because as much as I love performing, doing the same show 600 times is a lot. And if I had come back again, it would have been significantly more shows. That was something that I was willing to do. I finally made the decision that I was willing to stay. I was willing to do it another year. But that decision was not for me to make. And I was not offered a position to come back, which was not good for me. You know, we've talked about the fact that I am on medication for depression. And yeah, that was the start of a really terrible year. My last contract ended January the 3rd, and then I was unemployed for 3 months, which that's how those contracts work. You're unemployed for 3 months, and then, you know, they bring you back on and you continue. Well, all of my friends started getting job offers, and I didn't get one. I kept waiting for the call. It didn't happen. I even called my boss, called a meeting, and met with him, and I didn't really get any answers. Basically, it was left on, if we have something to offer you, we'll call you. And I still haven't heard from them. That was absolutely devastating. I didn't know what to do, because at that point, I had signed a lease. I was stuck. I was in a happy relationship. My partner was up there. So, I mean, that was something. That was helpful. And he helped me through a lot. But I had to decide whether I was going to stay or whether I was going to come home. I ultimately decided that I was going to stay, that I was going to audition for other things, that I would find a survival job in the meantime, and that everything was going to be okay. I would just kind of wait. He had to be there through the end of June. So I was at least going to wait it out until then, and then we could figure it out. And I did get a survival job, and I met some wonderful people. The job was not for me. And I met some great people while I was there. I had some good times while I was there, but I wasn't happy. They knew that I wasn't happy. My parents knew that I wasn't happy. My partner knew that I wasn't happy. I ended up leaving the job and also moving back to Mobile. And that was a very, very hard decision to make. I had to buy out of my lease. It was a lot. But ultimately, I just needed to regroup, to just figure out what the next move was. And the plan was I was going to move to Atlanta. My partner was looking for a job. He had some great leads in Atlanta. He was actually near Atlanta, living with his parents. I was living back home, kind of under the care of my parents, which is crushing after being completely on my own and supporting myself for 3 years. It's embarrassing. This is not where I thought I would be. This was not where I wanted to be at this juncture. I wanted to, you know, move to Atlanta. There would be plenty of opportunities for film there. It's easier to get auditions in Atlanta than it is in Mobile. So I looked for jobs. I wasn't really able to find much. I was just looking for something, not even performance-based at that point. I was just looking for anything so that I could be with my partner and, you know, we could work on settling a life together. I officially moved out of my apartment. September the 30th was the last day. We swung through, Georgia. We picked up my partner, and he helped us move. It was great. We had a wonderful week together, but it was different. And shortly after that, he decided to end things with me. There's no malice. We don't hate each other. He just fell out of love with me, which happens. And that was the cherry on top. Because this year, every time I thought I was at the bottom, the hole got deeper. And the rug just was continually pulled out from underneath me. It was a pretty desolate place. I wasn't talking to anybody. I didn't feel like doing anything. That's the thing that they don't tell you. You know, a lot of people think that depression is just like being sad all the time. That's not even half the battle. The worst part is not wanting to do anything. Not wanting to talk to anybody. Not wanting to leave the house. Things that used to bring you joy, just you feel apathy towards them. Empty, numb. You can't feel anything except despair. As you can tell, like, whether you know me in person or you know me through my videos, video games are something that I love. They are my escape. They have been since I was a kid. I was homeschooled, so my only sources of social interaction when I was in middle and high school were video games and church. As I'm sure you can imagine, growing up as a gay kid in Mobile, Alabama, and the only source of social interaction that you have really is church, which I made great friends. I had great times, but I hated myself for a long time because of that. Because I knew the truth about who I was, and I knew what literally everybody who surrounded me said about those things and what that meant. And I hated that I couldn't change it. I hated that, I hated myself because just the rhetoric that was used about gay people and being gay and everything. I was taught that it was one of the worst things that you can be. I'm not saying that that's anybody's fault. This is not like a call out post for anybody in particular, but that was very damaging. And that's probably, that had a lot to do with why video games are such a big part of my life. It's escapism. I was able to step out of myself and not deal with all of that self-hate and trying to figure out who I was and reconcile that with everything that was around me. I could just put all of that off to the side and step into a role-playing game, and I didn't matter anymore. I could focus on the story that was in front of me, that was laid out for me. By the same token, that's why theater is such a big part of my life, because when I'm on stage, I can put Ben in a box and that box goes over there, and then all of this belongs to whoever I'm playing on stage. So you can imagine that not only losing my job twice and my partner, basically the entire life that I had built in the course of about 9 months, but also losing my creative outlet, that's crushing, absolutely crushing. And I'm always looking for new ways to create things, because I can step out of myself, I can channel my feelings into it, and hopefully make somebody else happy in the process. Hopefully help somebody else not feel the way that I feel. That's basically how these videos came about. I love doing makeup. I love the act of just completely transforming my face into something that is not recognizable whatsoever as being me. I've always loved art. As a kid, I did paintings and I would draw, and this is basically just an extension of that. It's just using my face as a canvas instead of a canvas. And merging that with my love of video games is really how this series came about. My friend Cody, he helped me when I was at my lowest point. This was the day after my relationship ended, which has been very hard for me. I was talking to my friend, I talked to my friend Hobson. He said, I know that this is a really awful time for you, but as somebody who's one of your biggest cheerleaders and biggest fans, I'm really excited to see what you create out of all of this. Because that's what we do. I say we, I sound so philosophical. That's what I do. Well, no, I'm going to say we as artists, we take all the crap that is done to us. We take all the crap that we're dealt and we channel it into something. something creative. And that's how I started making these videos, because I need an outlet. If I don't have one, it's not good. Because like I said, that's where I channel all of my feelings. It's cathartic for me. I'm able to get so much out just by coming up with a concept and actually applying it and sharing it with everybody. It's a very cathartic process for me. With that being said, the videos are very important to me. I very much enjoy making them. I'm very proud of them. It's been hard. The communities that they are intended for are not necessarily being the most receptive of them, but ultimately it's my coping mechanism. So I guess it really doesn't matter how they receive it. Anyway, depression is terrible, and you never really know who is suffering from it. I guarantee you that more people are suffering from it than you think. And if you see somebody and they always put a smile on your face and they're always exuberant and they are the life of the party and you're so happy to see them, and you look at their social media and there's pictures of them like laughing with their friends and all of their posts are happy. Nobody's happy all the time. I know. I'm that person. I do my best to try to make people happy when I'm around them. I do my best to make sure that I'm kind and that people feel better than before they encountered me in their day. And I'm very careful about what I put on social media because, or especially I have been this year. I mean, if you notice, I haven't mentioned anything about not working. I haven't said anything about why. I haven't officially said that I moved back to Mobile. I haven't posted about any of it because I didn't want people to think that I'm not okay. But the problem is that I'm not okay. And I don't think I'm ever going to be not okay if I keep pretending that I am. So this isn't like a desperate cry for help or something. This is just, I have a lot of feelings and I just want to talk about them because I can't just sit here and pretend that everything's fine. Because it's not. Anyway, at this point I've been talking for about half an hour, so stay strong. Thank you for watching. I do love and care about all of you. Even if I haven't met you, you're special. You have something unique to offer. Don't forget that. I have to tell myself that every single day. So remember that. Anyway, I guess I'm going to finish this coffee out in the woods. They say that being outside is good for your depression, but with this complexion and the fact that it's like 50 degrees outside, I think I'm fine in here.